Hi guys, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. So today we are on day number 18. It is Sunday, so I hope if you went to church, I hope you had a good day. I hope you got to rest, or you know what I mean, get some laundry done if you didn't have to work. If you didn't have to work, I hope you got some money. Because most people that work on Sundays are servers, and so I hope it was a good day, you know. They had a whatchamacallit, they were like musical ministry. I don't even know if that's like the right word. I've never even heard of something like that, but it was so cute. That's what they had at our church tonight, and so it was really, really cute. They like told stories, and then they like sung songs to kind of go along with it, like as they were ministering. It was so cute. I literally loved it. I'll actually link them down below if anybody wants to check them out. I think their name was David's Voice, and I know his wife has a blog. I really connected to her whenever she was like telling her stories. I haven't checked out her blog, but I'm sure it's good just because you like the way that she talked on the stage. So like I said, I'll link down to that, you know what I mean. I'll link down to that in the section. What is it? The description. And the description box below. I literally watch too much YouTube. I literally like anyways, listen y'all, so with that being said, today is January 18th. But yesterday, Jacob got a name change. He is now Israel. Rachel had a baby, and she actually did pass away, which was sad. But even though, like, it kind of seems fast, because, like, we just met Rachel and Leah and Jacob, really, like, all of them in the past, like, 3 days. Like, I'm sure, like, there's, like, a lot of time, like, between them, you know? It is sad that she had, like, she died right after she had the baby. You know, because like I think she wanted a baby for, if you remember, her mistress wound up having a baby for her because she wanted a baby, but she couldn't have a baby. So it's kind of sad that she like died right after having her baby, but I'm sure it was like, you know, I don't think she was like super young. And then we just got like a lot of the descendants' names. Also, Jesus got mad with the Pharisees because they were like saying something about, why didn't you, like, how can you heal somebody like on the Sabbath? Like, you're not supposed to work on the Sabbath and you're out here healing people. I'm pretty sure that's considered work, sir. And Jesus was like, if somebody came to the church and, you know what I mean, was hungry, wouldn't you feed them on the Sabbath? Yeah, you would. Okay, I made that up because I'm hungry. It was about a sheep that falls into the well on a Sabbath. Then you would get it out. I'm just hungry, so I made it about food. But you know what I'm saying. And you would, you know what I mean? Like, why would you, what are you gonna do? Just leave the sheep in the well? Like, sorry, I can't do it. I'll see you Monday. You know what I mean? And the Pharisees were trying to kill him. They already were plotting to kill him. And really, for what? Because he healed somebody? Because he healed somebody and you didn't like the way that he healed him? Like, what does it matter? You know what? And I was thinking about this too. Like, people are always just like trying to like run on somebody's dreams. Like, Jesus was really out here. If they could hate on Jesus, like, really, like, think about it for real. Like, I'm not even trying to say it like that, but he was healing people, and people were mad at Jesus for healing people. Like, you're mad at Jesus for healing people because you don't think he's doing it the right way. Like, are you okay? Like, I just want to know, like, I just really want to know if those people are okay, because it doesn't seem fine, you know what I mean? It's obviously not fine, but like, it just seems so confusing. Like, why are you like this? Like, why are you so angry at somebody for healing other people? Like, are you literally okay? Like, I just want to take a minute. I want you to take a minute. I want everybody to take a minute, breathe, let's woosah, and like reevaluate like why you're planning on killing this person. Because it's for what? Because he's healing people and you don't agree with him? Bro, get out of here. People are so weird sometimes. And with that being said, we are on January 18th, Genesis chapter 37, verse 1 through 38, verse 30. And we're going to do a dance party while you find the verse. Dance party while you find the verse. Dance party while you find the verse. Okay, Genesis 37, verse 1 through 38:30. So Jacob settled again in the land of Canaan, where his father had lived as a foreigner. This is the account of Jacob and his family. When Joseph was 17 years old, he often tended his father's flocks. He worked for his half-brothers, the sons of his father's wives, Bilhah and Zilpah. But Joseph reported to his father some of the bad things his brothers were doing. Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So one day, Jacob had a special gift made for Joseph, a beautiful robe. But his brothers hated Joseph because their father loved him more than the rest of them. They couldn't say a kind word to him. One night, Joseph had a dream, and when he told his brothers about it, they hated him more than ever. Listen to this dream, he said. We were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. Suddenly, my bundle stood up, and your bundles all gathered around and bowed low before mine. His brothers responded, so you think you will be be our king, do you? Do you actually think he will reign over us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dreams and the way he talked about them. Soon Joseph had another dream, and again he told his brothers about it. "Listen, I have had another dream," he said. "The sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed low before me." This time he told the dream to his father as well as to his brothers, but his father scolded him. "What kind of dream is that?" he asked. "Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow to the ground before you?" But while his brothers were jealous of Joseph, his father wondered what the dreams meant. Soon after this, Joseph's brothers went to pasture their father's flocks at Shechem. When they had gone for some time, Jacob said to Joseph, "Your brothers are pasturing the sheep at Shechem. Get ready and I will send you to them." "I'm ready to go," Joseph replied. "Go and see how your brothers and the flocks are getting along," Jacob said. "Then come back and bring me a report." So Jacob sent him on his way, and Joseph traveled to Shechem from their home in the valley of Hebron. When he arrived there, a man from the area noticed him wandering around the countryside. "What are you looking for?" he asked. "I'm looking for my brothers," Joseph replied. "Do you know where they are pasturing their sheep?" "Yes," the man told him. "They have moved on from here, but I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dothan.'" So Joseph followed his brothers to Dothan and found them there. When Joseph's brothers saw him coming, Hello? What? My fan's on. It keeps blowing these papers and I need it to just stop. Stop! Jeez Louise. When Joseph's brothers saw them coming, they recognized him in the distance. As he approached, they made plans to kill him. "Here comes a dreamer," they said. "Come on, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns. We can tell our father, a wild animal has eaten him. Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." But when Reuben heard of their scheme, he came to Joseph's rescue. "Let's not kill him," he said. "Why should we shed any blood? Let's just throw him into the empty cistern here in the wilderness. Then he'll die without our laying a hand on him." Reuben was secretly planning to rescue Joseph and return him to his father. So when Joseph arrived, his brothers ripped off the beautiful robe he was wearing. Then they grabbed him and threw him into the cistern. Now the cistern was empty. There was no water in it. Then, just as they were sitting down to eat, they looked up and saw a caravan of camels in the distance coming toward them. Who sits down to eat right after you just threw your brother in a well? That's sociopathic behavior. That's is a socio or psycho? I don't know. One or the other. I mean, I feel like it's a little both. You know what I mean? Very cold-hearted. Why are you throwing somebody in a well and then you're like, "Oh, I think it's time to have a sandwich." That seems like what we need to do. You know what I mean? It's just a little sociopathic. You know what I mean? So they were sitting down to eat. They looked up and saw a caravan of camels in the distance coming toward them. It was a group of Ishmaelite traders taking a load of gum, balm, and aromatic resin from Gilead down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What will we gain by killing our brother? We'd have to cover up the crime. Instead of hurting him, let's sell him to those Ishmaelite traders. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." And his brothers agreed. So when the Ishmaelites, who were Midianite traders, came by, Joseph's brothers pulled him out of the cistern and sold him to them for 20 pieces of silver. And the traders took him to Egypt. Sometime later, Reuben returned to get Joseph out of the cistern. When he discovered that Joseph was missing, he tore his clothes in grief. Then he went back to his brothers and lamented, "The boy is gone, what will I do now?" Of course so did Reuben, I guess, leave after they threw him in the cistern? So he just convinced them not to kill him, just to throw him in the cistern, and then he left, I guess, whenever they sold him to the traders, because why else would he not know that he was sold to the traders? You know what I mean? I guess he had already left and gone somewhere else. He was like, "Y'all about to kill me too. Listen, I gotta go. We done threw Joseph in the well. I gotta go because y'all people are wild and y'all trying to eat a sandwich. My stomach hurts. This is not making me. I'm upset. You know what I mean? I got anxiety. I don't know what's going on. I gotta go." So then he went back to his brothers and lamented, "The boy is gone. What will I do now?" Then the brothers killed a young goat and dipped Joseph's robe in its blood. They sent the beautiful robe to their father with this message: "Look at what we found. Doesn't this robe belong to your son?" Okay, but why is that so psychopathic? You're literally, you have sold your brother. First you tried to kill him, then you sold him, and then you took his robe, dipped it in goat's blood, took it to your dad, and was like, "Isn't this my brother's robe?" You know it's your brother's robe. That's so sociopathic. That is literally, I don't even know. Just listening to it back is stressing me out. What's happening? Why are people like this? I don't know. I gotta go. It just stressed me out. I'm covering my eyebrow. I'm now they're sisters, they're twins. You wouldn't even know that they were cousins. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. Their father recognized it immediately. Yes, he said, it is my son's robe. A wild animal must have eaten him. Joseph has clearly been torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes and dressed himself in the burlap. He mourned deeply for his son for a long time. His family all tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. I will go to my grave mourning for my son, he would say, and then he would weep. Meanwhile, the Midianite traders arrived in Egypt, where he sold Joseph to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Potiphar was the captain of the palace guard. About this time, Judah left home and moved to Adullam, where he stayed with a man named Terah. Then he saw a Canaanite woman, the daughter of Shua, and he married her. When he slept with her, she became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and he named the boy Then she became pregnant again and gave birth to another son, and she named him Onan. And when she gave birth to a third son, she named him Shelah. At the time of Shelah's birth, they were living at Kazim. In the course of time, Judah arranged for his firstborn son to marry a young woman named Tamar. But was a wicked man in the Lord's sight, so the Lord took his life. Then Judah said to Er's brother Onan, go and marry Tamar, as our law requires of the brother of a man who has died. You must produce an heir for your brother. But Onan was not willing to have a child who would not be his own heir. So whenever he had intercourse with his brother's wife, he spilled the semen on the ground. This prevented her from having a child who would belong to his brother. Okay, what did I just read? Hold on. Okay. So
Judah left home and moved to Adullam, where he stayed with a man named Terah. Then he saw a Canaanite woman, the daughter of Shua, and he married her. When he slept with her, she became pregnant.
Okay, so sorry, I just got really lost. So Joseph is with the traders, right? Yes, Joseph is with the traders. He's actually now with the Pharaoh, or the captain of the palace guard of the Pharaoh. You know what I mean? Tomatoes, tomatoes. And then Judah left home. But is Judah not? No, Israel is Jacob's new name. So Judah, I guess, is one of his sons. Yes. Okay, so Judah is Jacob's fourth son. And it's his son with Leah. Because if you remember, he had 2 wives, I think. Actually, I think he had more than that. I think he wound up having like 4. Because I think he slept with both of the mistresses. And so he had more kids and more wives. So Judah is Jacob and Leah's son. He married a Canaanite woman. He had 3 kids. He killed the first one. Okay, and so then his brother was supposed to have sex with his wife, so that way his brother could technically have an heir. But I don't understand that, because aren't they all heirs? If they're all brothers and they all, you know what I mean? Wouldn't they all carry on? Isn't that the point, is to carry on the family bloodline, right? Like your dad's bloodline or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like the last name, right? That's the whole point. You carry on the last name, because like whenever you get married, you take the man's last name. So I don't understand why it mattered if she had a baby or if the brother had a baby with his wife. Like I don't necessarily understand that. But and then he spilled the semen on the ground, so he's like, nope. And that was the invention of the pullout. No. Listen, so okay, that's, I guess, a wrap. So some years later, Judah's wife died. After the time of mourning was over, Judah and his friend Hirah, the Adullamite, went up to Timon to supervise the shearing of his sheep. Someone told Tamar, look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. Tamar was aware that Shelah had grown up, but no arrangements had been made for her to come and marry him. So she changed out of her widow's clothing and covered herself with a veil to disguise herself. Then she sat beside the road at the entrance of the village of Anaim, which is now the road to Timnah. Judah noticed her and thought she was a prostitute, since she had covered her face. So he stopped and positioned her. Let me have sex with you, he said, not realizing that she was his own daughter-in-law. How much will you pay to have sex with me? Tamar asked. I'll send you a young goat for my flock, Judah promised. But what will you give me to guarantee that you will send the goat? She asked. What kind of guarantee do you want? He replied. She answered, leave me your identification seal and its cord and your walking stick you are carrying. So Judah gave them to her. Then he had intercourse with her and she became pregnant. Afterward, she went back home, took off her veil, and put on her widow's clothing as usual. Later, Judah asked friend Hirah, the Adullamite, to take the young goat to the woman and to pick up the things he had given her as his guarantee. But Hirah couldn't find her. So he asked the men who lived there, where can I find the shrine prostitute who is sitting beside the road at the entrance to Anaim? We've never had a shrine prostitute here, they replied. So Hirah returned to Judah and told him, I couldn't find her anywhere, and the men of the village claim they've never had a shrine prostitute there. Then let her keep the things I gave her, Judah said. I sent the young goat as we agreed, but you couldn't find her. We'd be the laughing stock of the village if we went back again to look for her. About 3 months later, Judah was told, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has acted like a prostitute, and now because of this, she's pregnant. Bring her out and let her be burned. Oh, well, he's in for a shock, huh? But as they were taking her out to kill her, she sent this message to her father-in-law. The man who owns these things made me pregnant. Look closely. Whose seal and cord and walking stick are these? Judah recognized them immediately and said, she is more righteous than I am, because I didn't arrange for her to marry my son Shelah. And Judah never slept with Tamar again. When the time came for Tamar to give birth, it was discovered that she was carrying twins. While she was in labor, one of the babies reached out his hand. The midwife grabbed it and tied a scarlet string around the child's wrist, announcing, this one came out first. But then he pulled back his hand and out came his brother. What? The midwife exclaimed. How did you break out first? So he was named Perez. Then the baby with the scarlet string on his wrist was born, and he was named Zerah. Oh, that's cute. That was a lot. There's like a lot of storylines going on now. I think that was like the first prostitute, and we've got like Joseph, who's like with the Pharaoh, and I think I've heard this story. I'm not 100% sure, because there's a lot of stories in the Bible, and so it's easy to get them like mixed up or whatever. But I think that Joseph like becomes like part of with the Pharaoh, like he becomes like friends with the Pharaoh, and that's why people bow to him. But I'm not sure. And now we're on Matthew 12, chapter 12, verse 22 through 45. Dance party while the lights come on. Dance party while you find the verse. 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 My headband just fell off and I don't know why. And I don't know why. And I don't like this headband because it doesn't have teeth. But it costs a lot of money and it's really, really pretty. So I still wear it even though it falls off my head. Okay. No, but seriously, how are you supposed to wear these headbands? Like, what is the point of a headband without any teeth? Like, literally, give me one good reason that you want a headband with no teeth that like doesn't. If you don't know what I'm talking about with teeth, just in case, they're like these little like prickly things that like are in here, and you like put it on your head, and whenever you put it on your head, it like pulls the hair back and like keeps the headband like where it's supposed to be, and it keeps like your hair like down. And this doesn't have any of those, and so it's cute, and it was, you know what I mean. But like I don't know what it does. Like I don't know the purpose of it. So if you know the purpose of a headband with no teeth, like let me know, because I'm clearly confused. And now we're on Matthew chapter 12, verse 22 through 45. Then a demon-possessed man who was blind and couldn't speak was brought to Jesus. He healed the man so that he could both speak and see. The crowd was amazed and asked, could it be that Jesus is the son of David, the Messiah? But when the Pharisees heard about the miracle, they said, no wonder he can cast out demons. He gets his power from Satan, the prince of demons. All right, let's calm down. Jesus knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is casting out Satan, he is divided and fighting against himself. His own kingdom will not survive. And if I am empowered by Satan, what about your own exorcists? They cast out demons too, so they will condemn you for what you have said. But if I am casting out demons by the Spirit of God, then the kingdom of God has arrived among you. For who is powerful enough to enter the house of a strong man and plunder his goods? Only someone even stronger, someone who could tie him up and then plunder his house. Anyone who isn't with me opposes me, and anyone who isn't working with me is actually working against me. So I tell you, every sin and blasphemy can be forgiven except blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, which will never be forgiven. Anyone who speaks against the Son of Man can be forgiven, but anyone who speaks against the Holy Spirit will never be forgiven, either in this world or in the world to come. A tree is identified by its fruit. If a tree is good, its fruit will be good. If a tree is bad, its fruit will be bad. How could evil men like you speak what is good and right? For whatever is in your heart determines what you say. A good person produces good things from the treasury of a good heart, and an evil person produces evil things from the treasury of an evil heart. And I tell you this, you must give an account on Judgment Day for every idle word you speak. The words you say will either acquit you or condemn you. One day, some teachers of religious law and Pharisees came to Jesus and said, Teacher, we want you to show us a miraculous sign to prove your authority. But Jesus replied, only an evil, adulterous generation would demand a miraculous sign, but the only sign I will give them is a sign of the prophet Jonah. For as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so will the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Oh, when he dies. The people of Nineveh will stand up against this generation on Judgment Day and condemn it, for they repented of their sins at the preaching of Jonah. Now someone greater than Jonah is here, but you refuse to repent. The Queen of Sheba will also stand up against this generation on Judgment Day and condemn it, for she came from a distant land to hear the wisdom of Solomon. Now someone greater than Solomon is here, but you refuse to listen. When an evil spirit leaves a person, it goes into the desert seeking rest, but finding none. Then it says, I will return to the person I came from. So it returns and finds its former home empty and swept and in order. Then the spirit finds 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they all enter the person and live there. And so that person is worse off than before. That will be the experience of this evil generation. Jeez Louise. He said, your demons are gonna get cast out. They're gonna go to the desert. They're gonna come back. They'd be like, oh, you thought you were cute. You thought you were put together. Nah, we're gonna bring 7 more demons. Seems like a lot, right? I mean, they weren't very nice, but we're on Psalm 16, 1 through 11, and we are gonna have a dance party while we find the verse. 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 Okay, keep me safe, O God, for I have come to you for refuge. I said to the Lord, you are my master. Every good thing I have comes from you. The godly people in the land are my true heroes. I take pleasure in them. Troubles multiply for those who chase after other gods. I will not take part in their sacrifices of blood or even speak the names of their gods. Lord, you alone are my inheritance, my cup of blessing. You guard all that is mine. The land you have given me is a pleasant land. What a wonderful inheritance. I will bless the Lord who guides me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. I know the Lord is always with me. I will not be shaken, for he is right beside me. No wonder my heart is glad and I rejoice. My body rests in safety, for you will not leave my soul among the dead, or allow your Holy One to rot in the grave. You will show me the way of life, granting me the joy of your presence and the pleasures of living with you forever. And now on Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27, verse 32. I told you this headband sucks. I told you this headband sucks. I told you this headband sucks. It really does suck, and I don't know why I have it. Like at this point, like I'm so over it. Like, is anybody having a wedding? Like, I don't know. You could probably use this for like a cute like bridesmaid moment, or like, I don't know. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27 through 32. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it's in the power to help them. If you can help your neighbor now, don't say, come back tomorrow and then I'll help you. Don't plot harm against your neighbor, for those who live nearby trust you. Don't pick a fight without reason when no one has done you harm. Don't envy violent people or copy their ways. Such wicked people are detestable to the Lord, but he offers his friendship to the godly. With that being said, tomorrow we are on January 19th, and let me know what y'all think is gonna happen with Joseph. I really do think that he and the Pharaoh are like gonna become like friends, and that's why his brother's gonna have to bow to him, even though they try to leave him in the well for no reason. Like, nobody even asked for that. Like, are you okay? But yeah, I love you. Jesus loves you. Bye.